Hey honeys, so welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing this soft peachy summery look that we see here. Real quick, real easy, real simple, just a little something fun since it's getting a little bit warm outside. So to begin, I'm going to first start by tying up my dreads, going ahead and get them up and out the way. I like to use this Khaleesi brand for the whipped moisturizing cream the best. I do have oily skin, however I still like to moisturize it up anyway because I do be having its dry moments, but right now this is pretty much the moisturizer that I like to use. And pretty much with this product, I have to work it in quite a bit, which I don't mind because the end finish of it is pretty much nice and glowy for me. So I do spend quite some time, at least prepping up my skin with this product, but it's all worth it in the end. So now that we're done with that, we're going to go ahead and move on to our eyebrows. To fill in my brows today, I am using a Wander Beauty eye pencil in the shade dark brown. And basically when that's all finished and filled in, I'm going to go in with my Maybelline concealer just to touch up any of the rough edges on the top or the bottom of my eyebrow. I'm going to take my Nubian palette by Juvia's and use 3 out of the 4 matte shades that's provided in there. Pretty much that peach, medium brown, and dark brown. Starting with that medium brown, I'm going to go ahead and put that on up in my crease. I usually always use some type of matte chocolatey brown in my crease just to start things off. And we're basically just going to blend and build until we get the color pigmentation that we're looking for, but I do spend quite some time on this, so take your time. Next, we're just going to go ahead and sneak in a little bit of that darker brown shade. Not much, because I still wanted this to be pretty light and vibrant so the peach could show more. But just a tad bit on the outer corners won't hurt. So we're just going to go ahead and get that blended on up in there as well. We're going to go ahead and move on to our pretty peach shade. Each time you see me dip my brush down, I'm pretty much rubbing it on a damp rag that I have underneath me. Usually I like to do that just to get the best payoff as far as the coloring goes with these shades, so we can get it as pigmented as possible. So, you know, a little water never hurts at all. These shades pretty much do dry up back to their normal, so I would definitely recommend you, you know, dipping it at least once or twice just to see if you like it. I'm now going to take just a orange concealer to take out some of the spots on my face. I really don't do this step all the time, only when I want my skin to look really clear. Other than that, I really don't mind, you know, you seeing the spots underneath my foundation. But for today, we're just going to go ahead and clear up those spots so that way we can have a pretty flawless foundation finish today. I always like to let this sit for a little bit too, because it gets a little bit tacky. When it's tackier, it'll cover up the spots better versus you putting it on there and then just blending it out immediately. So at least trying to dry it up a bit before patting it out, just so we have the most coverage from that orange concealer. For today's foundation, we're going to go ahead and go with the Makeup Forever HD foundation. I pretty much like to put a bunch of little dots on the face and then blend those dots out with my finger to again help assist with the coverage before going in to blend it out with a brush. Y'all, this has got to be my favorite makeup brush of all time. It is only about $6, I believe now, made by e.l.f. It's that flat top brush. I live by this brush. It is one of my favorite brushes. I certainly recommend you give it a try if you haven't already, and it is cost friendly. So yeah. I'm now going to go back to that same concealer we used to clean up our eyebrows and dabble a bit of that underneath my eye. And I'm also going to pair it with that LA Girl concealer as well in a bit of a lighter shade, because the one that I just put on, it's not the brightest once I put it with that foundation, so I just like to add a little bit extra. I'm going to use a little bit of setting spray and spray it on my beauty blender as well to go ahead and blend that one out. That beauty blender is made by Sonia Kashuk, I believe. It came in a twin pack. I really usually like the Real Technique sponge by Sam and Nick, but this is a really good alternative as well. And I believe that this sponge may get a little bit bigger than the Real Techniques brand. Now that everything is blended out, I'm gonna just go over everything with that same flat top brush with the remainder foundation on it, just to make everything seamless. And now we're just going to move to a little bit of a contour with Ebony by Radiance, and then we're going to top that off with a bronzing powder. I believe it's from the Queen collection. I can't remember the exact color of it, but I'll include that below for what I use for the bronzing of my face. I love the way this bronzer makes my face look, y'all. So if you have any other recommendations, please let me know in the comments below. But I pretty much always use this shade. And if you have made it this far in the video, leave me some honeybees or honey jar down below. I'm now going to use the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in Dark Deep. This is a new product for me. I haven't used it quite a bit yet, but I do like the finish of it, especially when my face has sat for at least like 5 minutes. So we're just going to go ahead and top everything off with the powder. Highlight choice today will be coming from Miss Rihanna herself for Fenty Beauty in the color Sinamon. And I like to put this product on my hand just to warm it up a bit so I have more control before putting it on my face. Usually if I try to rub the stick on there, I find it a little bit too dry for me. So I always put it on my hand, rub it on it to heat it on up, and then apply it with my fingers just so it has a diffused look to it. I'm also going to use the highlighting shade from this e.l.f. Duo blush and highlight palette just to top things off to make it a bit more shinier on the key points of my face. For mascara choice, I'm going to go with the Urban Decay's Lash Freak. I do like this mascara, however, am I the only one? It seems like it has a whole bunch of product on it when you first take it out of the tube or even when you re-dip it back into there. So usually I have to wipe off a lot of the excess. But the mascara itself is actually really good mascara. So I'm going to use that to top off the bottom lashes as well as my false lashes. As always, I'm going to go ahead and line my lips with a brown liner. And then today we're just going to top it off with a new product I got from Maybelline. It's their Lifter Gloss in the shade Moon. I'm also going to squeeze in a little bit of a Tarte sample that I got. I believe this is the Tarte Tease Quick Dry Matte Lip Paint in the color Low Key Nude, but don't quote me. I've had it for quite some time, so the wording on it has faded some, but if I can go back to it and see the name on it, I'll include that below as well, of course. Last but not least, we're going to go ahead and top things off with a setting spray just to make sure everything is set in stone. We're just going to go ahead and let that air dry. And this is the completed look. For my hair, y'all, I do have to put a little bit of oil on my hair and really work it through it, just so that way we can lessen the tangling on it, or if it wants to like bunch up together. But I'm really working that through just to make sure I have everything nice and separated. But thank you, honeys, for tuning on in. If you have any other ideas that you would like for me to do, certainly leave me a comment below and I will look into it. But as always, you guys have an amazing day. I love you guys and see you later in the next one. Bye.